I'm exposing myself here saying this, but I don't feel like it was something that was... I have two theories. I think it was either some other interdimensional thing that's not like bolts and it's not an aircraft, that like it was an actual like being that's a light being, because of the fact that I didn't see other lights on it. I didn't hear any type of like humming noises. Like I've looked when I because of this obsession, the other examples of these sightings, they usually talk about a humming sound. They usually talk about a weird fuzziness or a fogginess when they're around those type of aircraft. I didn't feel any of that. It was just complete quietness and just light, just complete light. So for me, that thing I saw in Sedona is almost like more spiritual than like nuts and bolts, or even extraterrestrial. And even to me, if it was extraterrestrial, then it's some type of light beings that they're pure light.
That's that's an interesting perspective on it for sure. And I would definitely not discount that theory of
I don't.
something like that for
And
sure. Like I think there's a lot to life that we don't understand. So we're just simple. We are very simple beings. Think about it. We're pretty much. It wasn't too long ago that we were, in the jungle. So we're very primitive life forms. So
Do you want me to tell you the story of the time that the other person can't
not if
remember?
it's about the kakui.
What's the kakui?
Don't tell me about the kakui, cause I cannot tell you.
What's the kakui?
The kakui is a scary. It's like the Baba Yaga.
So this one's not scary.
It's about the Baba Yaga or no?
No, this was not about the Baba Yaga.
Okay, then I can take it.
Okay.
Shit, I'm about to be murdered. The
So
killer?
it's about to kill you? Okay, I'll take maybe 2017. Wasn't that long ago. 3-4 years ago, I want to say. Maybe, yeah, about 3-4 years ago. He wanted me to pick him up. And so I was like, okay, I'll pick you up. And he wanted me to go pick him up. And I was driving Mike's mom's Cadillac. And the Cadillac's a nice car, It's like it was like a 2012, and it had like nice rims. It was kind of a nice car. And he lived not far from where we were at. It was like off the 15, somewhere like maybe like 15 and Trop maybe. And we went to his friend's house. I picked him up. On the way back, we're driving on the 15. And it's probably been a while for you since you've been to Vegas, so I was going to tell you like the street name, but we were basically going down the 15 like you're heading towards LA, like from Vegas, like that, that 15.
Yeah.
So where we lived was like the second to last exit before you leave Vegas. As we're going down the 15, we're going like 80, and for some particular reason, I felt like something really shocked me. Hold on, let me. When you touch something and it shocks you, but it was like at the top of my head, and it felt like the electricity traveled down my head, down my arm, and I was holding my cell phone in my hand as I was driving, and it like shocked it felt like it shocked the cell phone. And after it did that, a woman's voice came out of my cell phone. And the woman, she just said hello, but she said it 3 different times in 3 different ways.
Oh, shit.
She said, and I'm going to try to imitate it. And it was it sounded nice. It sounded like someone was like a very sweet person, but it sounded like, hello? 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 And I freaked out, and I like threw the cell phone, answer it. Like I'm driving, just talk to whoever it is. This like is like grabbed it, and he's like, hello, hello, and there's no one there. And he's like, your phone's like locked, and I unlocked it, and I was like, well, look for the missed call, and he's like, there's no missed call, and I was like, is there a text message? He's like, no, and I'm like, and we both kind of like thought for a second. We're like, well, try making Siri say hello, and I don't know if you've ever done that. I don't know if you have an iPhone, but if you ask Siri say hello, Here, I'll do it for you, actually. Siri, say hello. Oh, my God.
Indeed.
Siri, say hello.
I can do that. Hello.
In the past, she would say hello. She would just say hello. But it would just be like that, like very robotic, and it was very like... she could only say it one way. Like kind of like looking at each other, like that wasn't Siri. And the second that we both said that and kind of like felt like that's what it, definitely wasn't Siri, the car shut off. And normally when you cut power, or if the car shuts off, you know how you still have the dash lights on? This was as if someone had physically removed the battery. There was no dash lights. There was no lights at all. It was just like physically dead. And the problem is we were in the far left lane on the highway traveling 80 miles per hour. And so I was like, dude, there's no blinkers. And the left shoulder is like tiny. So the Cadillac is just going to come to a stop in the middle of the highway. So I was like, Danny, the window just so happened to be down enough. Stick his arm out. And I was like, dude, stick your arm out. We're going to the right. And I just started cranking the steering wheel to the right. And I'm just like barreling into traffic. And they're just like honking their horn. I'm cutting people off. And we got all the way over to the far right shoulder. And then the car just slowly, eventually we crept to a halt. And then I hit the brakes, which had no... you know how when the brakes has no it doesn't help you, it's it feels stiff, power. What's that called? When your brakes are not. You know what I'm talking about? That mechanical thing where when you hit the brakes, you could actually it helps you brake.
Yeah, and the analog brake system. Yeah.
No. It's like when you press the brakes, it physically helps you brake. It doesn't feel like you're hitting concrete. When I'm hitting the brake to slow down, it felt like I was hitting concrete. Everything was not working in the car, and it crept to a halt. We sat there for about 10 minutes, and we were like, "What the fuck?" And I'm like, "You know what?" I called, we need you to come get us. And she's like, "What happened?" I'm like, "The car shut off." She's like, "What?" I'm like, "Yeah, it's dead." She's like, "Oh shit, I'm sorry." She goes, "That's never happened. I mean, you should be able to just turn it back on." I was like, "No, we tried. Nothing's happening." And she's like, "Okay, well, I'm coming. It's gonna be a while, but I'll text you." And I was like, "Okay." So we just sat there, and then 10 minutes go by, and
Killer coming.
I decided I'm coming. I'm running. I decided to try to turn the car on again, and the car turned on, and we drove home. He was frantic, telling Diana, my wife, what had happened, and he was kind of shooken up about it because of the woman's voice and then the car shutting off like that.
Mm-hmm.
And Diana kept asking him like, "Well, how do you know it wasn't the phone? How do you know it wasn't like how do you know what you heard was actually somebody saying it?" And we just kept telling her like, "No, you don't understand. Like it it said hello and like a normal person would say hello to you. Like it was someone talking through our phone or through my phone." But now I think like maybe like a year ago, I can't remember how it came up to tell Diana or tell Eric or tell somebody his version of the story, and he just looked at me like he had no idea what I was talking about. And then Diana and my wife just so happened to be there, and they're like, "Oh no, that happened. Like that happened to you, Danny. Like you were freaking out. Like you actually we had to actually calm you down." And he couldn't believe it.
Interesting.